Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Pitch Talk.
We are fans of football dropping vlogs, videos and podcasts on the beautiful game.
Check out our videos on YouTube and Instagram's IGTV,
including special feature segments,
5 minutes with the G,
the Straight Shootin View,
coaching with JBK. We produce, record and edit video content
and audio on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts,
Verbal, Podomatic,
Anchor,
Spotify
and other podcast platforms.
Join the Pitch Talk revolution on Twitter, Instagram,
Facebook
and www.pitch-talk.com.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk.
I can see you now. I can see you now and then. I can see you now.
Welcome to
the Straight Shootin View.
Hey everybody, what is up? My name is Straight Shootin LJA and welcome to the Straight Shootin View, where I'm going to talk about Chelsea along with Shady football ethics. Now I'll start with Chelsea's situation, which is basically what happens when you're totally reliant on a shady owner with shady ethics and who is connected to shady people. With all due respect though, it's a case of a tear to the old glass eye, because they knew about Abramovic's links when he took over, but they didn't want to admit it, and they even dismissed him. And they were happy to take and spend his money, and now it's fallen apart because they've always been dependent on his money and it's all caught up. It's a shame that a lot of decent Chelsea fans are going to suffer because their club took the unethical route to the top and it's all crumbling and crashing down as quickly as it was bought and put together. And with all the current sanctions, to me it's only a matter of time before Chelsea are royally screwed. You look at their credit cards being frozen, no away fans at games, having to pay their own travel costs and that kind of thing. They've been thrown a lifeline, but more on that later. But people need to understand that not just in football, but in life, you can't accept funds and be totally dependent on some shady billionaire's money and not expect an absolute cluster when the crap hits the fan. Whether it be owners getting sanctioned, owners calling in debts, or strip mining the club's finances, Glazers. On that note, media outlets need to stop asking managers of affected sides and the players for these sides what they think of these owners, because it's not as if these guys have anything to do with the decisions higher up, let alone making them. And also, do you really think that they're going to come out and talk smack about the people signing their paychecks? Now, I know I say that if most players had a brain, they'd be out playing with it. But come on. Would you talk about smack about your workplace on social media, especially if millions of people could watch it at once, more on a delay, like Match of the Day, including your employers? No, you wouldn't. Because you know you'd have a P45 on your desk and in your email inbox before you leave for your Monday morning commute. So don't get on the high horse. Chelsea, though, throughout this situation have felt understandably hard done by, and same with their fans. But again, you can't wave away your billionaire benefactor's ills because you want his money. And the club and most of those fans aren't victims, as they were happy to go with the gravy train. And now that it's over, you are seeing a lot of people's true colours. In this situation with Chelsea, you know who I really feel sorry for? The women's side. Think about it. Because women's football is fighting from underneath for exposure anyway, after literally being held back for 50 years. And some clubs are finally getting some exposure and having a great period of success, like Chelsea's women. And then the sins of the men's side now has them worrying about their future. Because remember, we've seen clubs cut off their women's sides and blame it on budget cuts, etc. Like Man United, when they previously had a women's team. Charlton Athletic being another example. But you know what? Jamie Carragher. As a player, loved him. Pundit, he's mustard. And yeah, he's made his mistakes. The car spitting incident was a disgrace. And him working for Sky Sports and talking about Chelsea taking advantage is a little bit rich. But that's nothing compared to having an owner who's directly linked to a man waging war in another country for what looks like nothing more than to stroke a man whose ego is literally at dictator level, to quote a phrase from Bill Burr, encouraged by a load of countries who are now vilifying and trying to stop the monster that they made. You can't have it both ways, Chelsea fans, just like the UK government. You can't throw Carragher under the bus for spitting at a kid whilst you have an owner majorly connected and friendly with a man who has ordered the bombing of innocent civilians, including children, on a daily basis during an invasion. The comparison doesn't work. It's like someone I know blaming media hysteria for this whole Chelsea Abramovich issue and actually tried to compare it to BLM. It's like, no, bro, there's no comparison there and there's no excusing it, making that comparison. But Chelsea's talking about sporting integrity after a shed load of backlash the same day that they wanted to play Middlesbrough in the FA Cup behind closed doors because all their credit cards were frozen and Abramovich has a load of sanctions on him and the club has been seized as an asset and they've got sanctions on them too. No, Chelsea can't talk about sporting integrity with their recent history, let alone before the Abramovich came in, because their recent history glitters on the Roman. But all that it glitters isn't gold. And in regards to sporting integrity, tapping up Ashley Cole, Gael Kakuta, inducements, Mark Clattenburg and the false racism accusations, Dr. Eva Carnero, that situation that they lost an employment tribunal for, the recent transfer ban that ironically did them and Frank Lampard a favour, that again involved parental inducements, the revolving door of management they've had during Roman's reign and the treatment of world-class managers and club legends during that time. So, sporting integrity, Chelsea, that's not just tone deaf, that's idiotic coming from Chelsea. If you lay down with a dog, you'll wake up with fleas. And Sky Sports said recently the EU wanted to punish Abramovich but not Chelsea. But because the two are so intertwined, you kind of have to punish both. And governments are sanctioning the general Russian populace and anyone linked to the country to hurt the man running the show. And the Chelsea situation is just a microcosm of that. And considering how much dirty money is in football, in my view, it's laughable to think that this is the end of the beginning, let alone the beginning of the end of sports washing. As we've said on Pitch Talk shows, videos, vlogs, podcasts, everything since we started way back in 2010, you literally have to stop the game completely and weed out every corrupt person in the game and completely start again. And with the billions upon trillions on the line, you just can't do it at this point. Also, there's been a funny rumour going around actually about Abramovich wanting to buy a Turkish club whilst trying to sell Chelsea because Turkey isn't applying sanctions due to close links with Ukraine and Russia, which if true, proves my point in large part. You can't stop corruption in Europe though and leave, say, South America alone and vice versa, because it will creep in again. And as long as there's massive financial gain, everybody's trying to gain an edge and will do anything to get that edge. And individual clubs will be made examples of, but because this is so prevalent in the world, and football's a microcosm of the world, it's like saying if you stop racism in football, you stop it in society. But no, that's backwards. Stop it in wider society, then it stops the microcosm. Stop corruption in governments and regular life, and that filters through and permeates other facets of life. But like dealing with root causes of problems as opposed to just delivering punishments that only scratch the surface, that takes decades, even hundreds of years of hard work to achieve. And most haven't even got that attention span, nor do they want to put in that level of effort. And for me, you look at shady football ethics in general, you've got a lot of fans with shady ethics, with basically the ethics of a mosquito, because it'd be like, oh, as long as my team are winning, I don't care what they're doing. Like, it's like, okay. Like, there's been racism scandals, there's been spousal abuse scandals, there's been child molestation and all that as well. There have been all of these scandals, but most fans, as said, morally, just, it's like, no. They're like, oh, well, he might be that, but he's a great player. No, that doesn't work. In the words of Hulk Hogan, that doesn't work for me, brother. You can't say that someone is a great player, but bugger it. You know what? John Terry, bugger it. Perfect Chelsea example. Going around screwing his best friend's wife. It's like, dude, what is wrong with you? Ryan Giggs, shagging his brother's missus. It's like, really? Oh, but he's a great player. I don't care if he's a great player. These two guys are philanderers and disgraces. And as I said, some people trying to compare the Chelsea situation to BLM because of this whole siege mentality that these Chelsea fans have about, oh, everybody hates us, nobody likes us. There's a reason for that. And it's nothing to do with media hysteria. It's to do with, remember your hooligan fringe years ago. Remember, go and ask Paul Cannaville. Just go, like, those of you who don't know that name, I've had the privilege of meeting him. Very nice guy. Go and talk to Paul Cannaville about what he went through with his own fans playing for Chelsea back in the day. And then come back to me and try and say Chelsea are innocent. Oh, everybody's against us. And then try and make that BLM comparison. I'm begging you. Because there is no comparison. So it's one of them ones that, at the end of the day, I said, if you lay down with a dog, you're going to wake up with fleas. And now that the crap has hit the fan, I said a lot of these Chelsea fans are realising, oh crap, the gravy train's over. Let's do a Jose Mourinho and let's blame everybody else but us. When I said, you're not the victims here. Sorry. You were willing to go along with the gravy train and say, oh, we're so successful. Yeah, look at all Abramovic and one for us. Yeah. But ignoring the fact that he's directly related. And we're not talking like Abramovich was connected yesterday to Vladimir Putin. Them two go back to like 2000. Even earlier in some cases. Some have linked them back together since 1997. When Chelsea were playing Tromso in 3 inches of snow in the Cup Winners' Cup. Yeah, remember that. Yeah, that's what you were before the money. So it's one of them ones. You can't have that both ways. So it's one of them ones. The Chelsea fans who have been cheering Abramovich and booing the Ukraine thing, you lot, nah man, you are a disgrace. I'm not going to go detailed political in the Russia-Ukraine situation because that's for a different podcast / vlog. And yeah, there's going to be people who ain't going to like my opinions on that. But not that I really give a damn. I don't really give a damn enough to really articulate it at this time. But for me, it is one of them ones. Football is full of shady operators, shady politics, and you're not going to separate football and politics. Just like you're not going to separate football and corruption. Because you can't. They are too intertwined. This is Abramovich. This is Chelsea. Too intertwined. I ain't got carpal tunnel. Too intertwined. You can't separate the two. So if you're going to punish one, you're going to punish both. You're going to have to get through to one, if not both of them. And this whole sale thing, as said earlier, I was going to talk about Chelsea getting thrown a lifeline. It's like, yeah, oh well, Abramovich could put in 30 million just to kind of tide Chelsea over until the sale happens. It's like, no! If you're going to sanction someone, sanction them! Don't go half-hearted and then go backwards on it. It's like, oh, you allowed sell tickets to away fans. Oh, no. It's like, no, don't go back on this. I said the club knew what it was doing when they got into bed with him. So I'm sorry, the club is just as culpable, as well as some of their glory hunting fans. Oh, man. But you know what? I want to know your views. This has been the Straight Shootin View. I've had my views. You've just heard mine. I want to hear yours. Football, shady politics, Chelsea, the Russia and the Roman Abramovic situation and his links to Putin. Should Chelsea be punished for it as well? Punishing Roman by punishing Chelsea. Is it fair? Is it not? I think it is. I think it is fair, to be honest. Because ill-gotten gains, boy. Ill-gotten gains. So, it's one of them ones. That's the way I look at it. You know what? www.pitch-talk.com is our official website. Catch everything Pitch Talk there, including the RSS feed for our podcast. You can listen to our podcast at www.pitch-talk.com. You can also listen to our podcast on verbal.com, Anchor FM as well. Anchor.fm/Pitch Talk. You can catch us there. Verbal, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Catch our feed on Player FM. Spotify, so many other places where you can catch Pitch Talk podcasts and episodes such as 5 Minutes with the G, Coaching with JBK, and yours truly with the Straight Shootin View. YouTube.com/Pitch Talk is where you can catch all of our videos as well, including special feature segments and also segments such as JBK at the Women's FA Cup Final 2021 and Pitch Talk at the SAL Senior Challenge Cup Final 2021 as well. We got more coming on the way as well. You know what? Also twitter.com/Pitch Talk. Tweet with us, follow us, see what we are up to at Pitch Talk on Twitter. Facebook.com/Pitch Talk. Become a fan, become a friend, become a member of the group. Join the footballing revolution we are working so hard to create. Also at Pitch Talk on Instagram for vlog previews and much more, including clips from reviews, special feature segments, and much more. I have been Straight Shootin LJA, and until next time, the comment section is below. I want to know your views on the Straight Shootin View. Thank you for your time, peeps.
Join the Pitch Talk revolution.
Check out the official Pitch Talk website.
www.pitch-talk.com. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Pitch Talk.
We are fans of football dropping vlogs, videos and podcasts on the beautiful game.
Check out our videos on YouTube and Instagram's IGTV,
including special feature segments.
5 Minutes with the G,
the Straight Shootin View,
Coaching with JBK. We produce, record and edit video content
and audio on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts,
Verbal, Podomatic,
Anchor,
Spotify
and other podcast platforms.
Join the Pitch Talk revolution on Twitter, Instagram,
Facebook
and www.pitch-talk.com.
The pitch is where we eat.
The pitch is where we sleep.
And the pitch is where we talk.
I can see you now.